I adopted 5 Nordic habits for a full year, and I did not expect how much they would change the way our home actually felt. And here's the thing, I didn't start these habits to be Scandinavian. I started them because our days felt too loud, too fast, and honestly, too full. But the surprising part is, the slower I made our home, the more peaceful and surprisingly, the more productive it became. So if home feels overwhelming or rushed, stay with me because I'm going to show you the 5 Nordic habits that quietly transformed our home and how you can weave them into your own in the most simplest and life-giving way. Let's start with the first one. This first habit is one of the things that has made the biggest difference in the amount of clutter that used to pile up in our home, and that is the 1 in, 1 out rule. For me, this started when our family suddenly grew. We went from 0 to 3 kids in 15 months, and I realized that everything that I brought into the house instantly became something that I had to manage. I am not a minimalist per se, and it was never about trying to create a certain aesthetic, though obviously we all have our own styles, but I did want to create a home that felt hospitable to everyone and not one that felt like it was constantly overflowing with stuff. So I adopted this really simple rule. Again, if something comes in, something goes out. That goes for toys, kitchen gadgets, all of it. And what I mean by that is, if something breaks, we will replace it and let the old thing go. We don't just hold on to it. If something new enters the home, it has to have a place to live. And if it doesn't, I either don't bring it home or I make a place for it before it crosses the threshold in my mind. So sometimes that looks like donating something, sometimes it is simply throwing a thing away. The principle behind it is really simple. The less extra unnecessary stuff that we own, the more room that we have to actually live. So if you're like me and maybe not a minimalist, not Scandinavian, but you want to get a handle on the clutter, I really encourage you to try this principle. And if you want a place to start, especially with Christmas season coming up, if you're watching it when it gets published, but really this can apply throughout the year, birthdays, you name it, here's a little idea that helped us. Put out 2 boxes, one to donate and one to throw away. And then take 30 minutes or so, more if you would like to, with your children and tackle it together. Tell them that the Lord is going to bless them with good gifts this season, if you're talking Christmas, and they get to help bless another family by passing on things that they no longer use. Depending on their age, let them choose what they want to donate. It gives them a sense of ownership and it takes the pressure off of you. So turn on some music, give them each a trash bag for their own room for actual trash, and then let everyone go through their things. And if they fill up the boxes, an added bonus, you can celebrate. So go get ice cream, go to the park, make it fun, not stressful. You can quietly check the boxes afterwards to make sure that nothing precious is being donated, but this really is a great way to purge before new gifts come in. Again, either whether that's Christmas, birthdays, whatever, or even if you just generally want a reset and want to purge. So this habit has been actually really helpful for our family. But this next habit honestly surprised me because I didn't expect it to have such an impact on my kids. And really quickly, if you're listening to this and thinking, I want rhythms like this, but I'm already overwhelmed, I created a free masterclass that walks you through how to build simple, tiny rhythms that fit your life, your home, and your season. You can grab that down below. It's completely free. But let's get back to it. Again, this next habit truly did surprise me with how deeply it impacted my kids because it really wonderfully helped with their creativity, their imaginations, and generally their overall well-being, simply because of all the fresh air and the daily time outside. For us, this all started when I read the book by, I believe, a Scandinavian or Swedish author. I can't remember which country she was from, but the title is called There's No Such Thing as Bad Weather, and it's a great book. I can link it down below if you want to check it out. But her big idea is that there is no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing, and that getting outside in every season is one of the best gifts that we can give our kids. So last year, we started using the 1,000 hours outside printable and kept it on the fridge. I can link that down below as well. And I'll be honest, I wasn't perfect at logging on it, and so we didn't finish the whole chart because I kept forgetting. But what it did do was it helped us build a habit of simply embracing being outdoors and taking measures intentional measures to get there no matter the weather. So I got the kids rain suits and wool socks, play boots from the thrift store if I could, warm gear for the winter, nothing fancy, just functional, and it made such a difference. We kept everything in a little basket by the door so it was easy for them to gear up and go. And once they started spending more time outside, their imaginations just exploded. One child would spend rest time outside reading, she still does. Another likes to garden or play in her pretend kitchen that she made. They build little houses using extra wood from a sawmill project that we had on our property, and then they would hammer and nail and make things that I never could have planned for them. They were also really inspired by a book that we love called Roxaboxen. It's a family favorite, and the book is about children who build an entire imaginary village out of rocks and sticks. So my kids built their own version, complete with a stove, a store, and little pretend homes. Super creative. And at this point, if they don't go out on a given day, it feels like a weird day. They feel it. Honestly, this habit has ingrained in us a sense of love for being outside, and it has just become the culture of our home, thankfully. If getting outside feels overwhelming, especially if you have multiple little children, just start really small. Set up a simple outdoor basket by the door with socks and boots that you don't mind getting dirty, jackets. Just make it really easy to say yes for them to be outside, and then just choose one part of the day. Even if it's 15 or 20 minutes to start with, where everyone goes outside, rain or shine, take a book with you and soak in the fresh air. If you would enjoy logging hours for it or do that, or if that would stress you out, then don't do that. But just basically get into the habit of stepping outdoors daily and see how it begins shaping your children's creativity and mood. But even with all that outdoor time, I realized that something else was working against us, and it was hiding in our calendar. This next shift really simplified our home in a wonderful way. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and here on this channel, I help homemakers very practically bring rhythm and rest into the heart of their home. If that sounds like something you need, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss my weekly videos. But let's get back to it. This next habit is one that I had to learn the hard way, and that is to protect white space on the calendar. For a long time, especially when I was younger and earlier in motherhood, I lived with a packed calendar. Go, 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 because that is all I ever knew even before motherhood. And then we found ourselves in a church community that gathered often, which we genuinely wanted after coming from a season that felt lonelier. So we said yes to pretty much everything, and our weeks filled up really fast. But what I quickly learned is that a packed calendar leaves no room for the things that actually matter in family life. No room for training and discipling kids, for squabbles or silliness or slow afternoons. No room to connect with my husband. And scripture tells us to number our days so that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Part of that is simply leaving margin, trusting that we don't have to fill every single moment to live a faithful and full life. Now we are much more intentional about having white space on the calendar, both during the day and during the week. Every afternoon is a rest time for our children. That is a non-negotiable now. That's a blocked off time where I plan nothing if I can help it. As for white space during the week, we keep many evenings free so that we can eat dinner together and actually enjoy one another. We still host people regularly. We want to open our home and be hospitable, but we don't load up 4 nights a week. We want to first be hospitable to our own family and not the other way around. So not only that, but having a weekly Sabbath has also become one of the sweetest rhythms for us. We have a whole day where we slow down, enjoy one another, read, rest, take a walk, stay off screens, whatever we want to do, and just breathe. We usually don't make big plans, typically. Taking a Sabbath is a way that we can show that we trust the Lord with our time by choosing not to fill that day and believing that He will take care of what remains undone, and also trusting that He knows what we need. He says that the Sabbath was made for us. We are not made for the Sabbath. So it's also meant to bless us and not be a burden. If you want to weave some white space into your calendar, don't try to overhaul everything. Just pick one little spot to start with where you can more intentionally create margin. Maybe it's keeping 1 hour each afternoon completely open, literally a block of unplanned time. Or maybe you want to protect the evenings more and protect dinners make sure you're eating dinner together a certain amount of evenings per week, depending on your family's needs. Maybe it's choosing one weekend day where nothing gets scheduled and you can just relax as a family together. If you're married, get on the same page with your husband, decide together, and start with one change that gives your family more breathing room. Once we created more margin, something really interesting happened. I finally had room to slow down and notice where the daily overwhelm was actually coming from. And this next habit changed that. This next habit I call small daily upkeep, and it's something that I honestly didn't even know was really possible for a long time because I lived so deeply in an all or nothing mindset. I used to think that if I didn't get the whole house clean in one day, then it wasn't even worth starting. Or if I couldn't finish an entire organization project, I would just put it off, which of course made everything worse. Once I learned that I could break big tasks into intentional touch points throughout the day, it completely changed my daily rhythms and made so many things feel more approachable. Time blocking helped me a lot with this, and I don't mean rigid time blocking. I don't really know what all is out there as far as that goes. The way that I've done it and what I mean is simply giving certain tasks, either big or small, like bigger routines or small little tasks, giving those a home in the flow of the day. I don't like to overstuff the time blocks because I want them to be realistic. So I basically make the decision of what each time block holds one time. As I'm building the daily routine, I'll plug things in and then move through them each day. For example, dinner prep used to be really stressful for me because by the end of the day, I was tired, toddlers were underfoot, someone was always cranky or needing me, and it just felt like a lot of pressure at the end of the day and felt very challenging to get dinner on the table. So now I break up that big task into smaller touch points. If you watch my videos, you've heard me mention this before, but bear with me. In the morning, I set out meat to thaw. At lunch, I will prep one part of the meal, like chop vegetables, make the sauce, whatever, something simple if possible. And then in the evening, all I'm really doing is assembling, and I try to leave a lot of time for that just in case. It takes a lot of weight off the hardest part of the day. Laundry is the same way. With a bigger family, we just cannot do laundry all in one day or twice a week. It piles up way too quickly. So we break it into steps. Start the load the night before, switch to the dryer in the morning, and then fold it at lunch, and then put it away in the evening. These are, and we've done it different times at different seasons, but these are just a couple of examples, and it is such a calmer way of running a home. Taking the bigger daily task and just spreading them throughout the day at different touch points. Time blocks just help me stay consistent with these little habits or these little things in a much lower stress way. So again, I've done this differently in different seasons, but the principle is the same. Small daily touch points remove a lot of pressure from the day. So think about, for your own home, think about one task that constantly feels too big. Is it dishes, laundry, dinner prep, tidying up the home? Just think through what's a big pain point for you and then break it up into 2 or 3 small touch points and spread them into the natural rhythm of your day. And then tack each one onto something that you already do so that you don't forget it. So name what you're gonna do. So for example, after I make my morning coffee, I will blank. Or after lunch, I will blank. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if you make it very specific, that makes it a whole lot more likely that you're gonna get it done. So just begin shifting from the all or nothing mindset to quietly doing a little at a time. Again, start with one pain point and see how it goes, and then you can move on to another if you find it as helpful as I have. When I started breaking things into tiny touch points, our evenings began to shift too, and that's where this next habit comes in. This last habit is one of my favorites because it not only winds down the day, but it sets the tone for the next day, and that is having a slow and simple evening. In our home, we get dinner on the table, we have family worship, and take time to talk about our day, and then we clean up together. So everyone has their job in the kitchen, they all know what it is, and we just pitch in together with some music on, try to make it lighthearted and fun. Part of what I personally do is I will set up my coffee for the next morning, review my calendar for the next day, and then go ahead and jot down a couple of my priorities for the following day so that I don't have to think about it first thing in the morning. And then I go take care of some other chores. But after the kiddos get ready for bed, we then gather in the living room, we will sing a song and pray, and sometimes if we have time, we will read a story. So it's not elaborate, but it is a wonderful and gentle landing place for all of us after having a very full day. And then once the kids are in bed, my husband will continue to slow down together. So we will talk, we read, and usually we try to aim to go to bed at a decent time because we very much value sleep. This rhythm has greatly simplified our days more than almost anything because it removes the frantic morning scramble because, again, we're prepping for the next day, and it gives margin at the end of a day to wind down together as a family and just be together. So we're building good memories and warm memories into our home. So to weave this into your home, choose 2 or 3 small things that you can do in the evenings that will help wind your day down, and then that will also make tomorrow go smoother. So for example, you could light a candle and turn on some soft music to create a cozy atmosphere. And then to prep for tomorrow, go ahead and get your coffee or tea ready, check your calendar. You can mimic what I do, or you can come up with your own ideas based on your home. But I would not try to rebuild your whole evening routine all at once. Just choose a couple of things that will simplify your evenings and your mornings because, again, they go hand in hand. With these 5 habits that work together, your home does not suddenly become perfect, but it does become a whole lot more peaceful because there's margin, and that's really important in today's world. I would love to hear which of these habits your home is needing most right now, or if there are any others that have helped your family that maybe I didn't mention. Tell me in the comments below. I love hearing what other families are working on. And again, if you want help building rhythms like this that bring rhythm and rest into the heart of your home, I created a free masterclass that walks you through the exact steps to start. You can grab that down below. Again, it's completely free. Thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you in the next one.